Man, y'all know what this is. Another episode of The Juice. And I'm your boy IG. And we got, I mean, probably one of the dopest dudes in Christian hip hop right now, Harmony. And Harmony, introduce yourself to the people, my man.
Man, what's up, dude? Appreciate you having me on IG. Yeah, man, Harmony, Harmini, man. Just out here just trying to do my thing for God, bro. To be honest with you, bro, it's been a wild journey. I've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and I've learned a ton. But where I'm at now is probably the best place, that I could be in my life. Gearing up for the big catapult that's like this close.
This close.
Yeah,
Hey, that's what's up, man. You know, once God gets you there, he'll walk you through it. I
already. Yep.
really, yeah, I really wanted to get into and start with your testimony because I know a lot of my people I know wouldn't know about your testimony. Could you tell them how you started, how you got to where you're at?
Yeah, sure, bro. Um, so originally I was actually born and raised in Elmira, New York, and for the first 20 years of my life, and I was born in the ghetto, man, raised in the ghetto. Single mom, dad wasn't there. I actually had a brother. I have a brother that lived with me too, and his dad also wasn't there. So our mom took on the burden of raising two boys. My brother was definitely different than me. He's 5 years older than me. He made a few different decisions that were more on the smarter path. I went the route of women, drugs, and alcohol, and that spiraled my life down significantly, bro. And so I had a lot of rough patches in the very, very beginning. Was molested when I was 7 years old. And of course, that opened up the door for extreme masturbation. It opened up the door for pornography, really crazy. I lost my virginity when I was 10 years old. And so on my 10th birthday, actually. And then from there, it just opened up a whole world that no kid should have to have opened up, man. And it affected me really bad. And so I started getting in trouble all the time, man. Police trouble all the time, doing stupid things that kept landing me in the hospital. Then I ended up getting on probation over and over, man. Locked on the ankle bracelet, was sent to detention facilities. Then I went to jail. Then I went to prison, and all that happened before I was 20. And so when I got 2 weeks before I got out of incarceration, my mom died from lung cancer. And so I lived with her my whole life. So when I got out, it was challenging, bro, to be honest with you. I had to go live with my brother, and he became a pilot in life. That was his career path. That's what he chose. I really didn't have a career path outside of just wanting to do music. But when I was serving the devil, my music wasn't going nowhere. I had the ability to still capture audiences. Like I could capture people's attention with the cinematic, type delivery or flow. That wasn't really hard to do, but he never let me meet anyone that could help me. Nothing, no money was ever pumped in. Like there was no blessings that would open up doors to get me to where I am now. Let's just say that. And so, yeah, man. And so I ended up, after my mom died, I moved around, man, from upstate New York. I moved to New Mexico. That was the first place that I've ever lived out of Elmira. And we lived there for a little while. Then I ended up having to go back to Elmira while my brother went to another level of flight school to help get him a new license. And then and we moved around a little bit, went over to Georgia. I lived in a hotel there for 9 months, got hooked on cocaine really, really bad again when I was there. And then I went off to even more drugs after that. I got on crack, and then went off to meth, and just had a terrible, addiction that resurfaced. And then moved up from there, and I ended up moving to Dallas, Texas. But right before I moved to Dallas, is when I had my encounter with God. And so that was the thing that changed everything. Changed everything. Yeah.
I definitely got you. Wow, that's definitely a rough path, man. I ain't gonna lie, because as someone whose father did a lot of drugs, so I kind of understand it, but I stayed away from drugs because of that situation. But that's a rough path, man, to get to where you at.
Yeah.
But now, you know what I'm saying, you definitely pumping out a lot of music, not just music, you know, you're in the film game too now. So, you know, tell us about how, you know, with the music, you know, how has that helped you get into the film game? Because I know you've been doing a lot of soundtracks, you know, so let the people know what you really been doing with the music and soundtracks.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, bro. The whole path has been really wild. Um, when I got saved, after I had a major experience with God, He set me free from all the drug addictions that I had, from the crack, the cocaine, the weed, the cigarettes, the alcohol. I was taking mushrooms. Oh my goodness, what else? Man, I had what I say, meth. Yeah, crack, cocaine, weed, alcohol, meth, cigarettes. Um, I was doing shrooms and oxycontin. And so I had major addictions that were no joke. And so when I had my genuine encounter with God, He set me free in less than 2 months, from July '05. I'm sorry, from May '05 to July '05. By July 28th of '05, every single drug addiction I had was gone. And those were the big things that were holding me back in life, because you can't do nothing as a drug addict. And even though you love people and you want to do good, like in your heart, you feel like you want to do good, but you let yourself and you let everybody else down so much that most people just give up, because you can't overcome the addiction by yourself. Like, you have to have a higher power, a greater strength to help you get over that stuff. It's really witchcraft is what it is. That's what drugs are. It alters the mind, it alters the brain, it changes the judgment. And once you get addicted to that stuff, man, it's like a spell. It really is. And but anyway, we gotta get on that. But yeah, so on the music side, when I got clean from the drugs, man, and I moved to Texas, that's when I started getting more opportunities in music. So in the beginning, I didn't get paid for nothing. Most of the time it was just all volunteer stuff. Like I was a part of a bilingual rap group called ONC, of no consequence. And I had the opportunity from a buddy of mine that I met at the church I went to in Dallas. And that was back in '06. And we stayed together for about 2 years. We did quite a bit of traveling around Texas. And all the shows we did were free for like 3/4 of the way. Mostly
Right.
ministry outreach, going to churches, speaking, loving on people, doing all that. And then one day we went to a church, and we just ministered our hearts out. And before we left, the pastor had wrote us a check. How much was that? I think the check was for like $250. And it was, it wasn't nothing like huge, but to us it was
Right.
major, because we'd never got anything like that before. And he told us, he was like, I cannot witness what I witnessed with our youth here and what you guys were able to do, and not send you away with some type of blessing. Like, I have to give this to you. So he felt compelled to do it. But when he did that, it really blessed us, because we were like, man, maybe we could really do this and make a living off of doing what we love. And so for the remaining time that we were together, we wrote more songs, we still did more shows, still did outreach ministry, all that. And then in 2009, we ended up splitting up. One of the members got married, and had his whole married life, and another one went to school in Spain, and it was, everybody just kind of broke apart. And so I was really the only one that really kept going. So I went solo as Harmony. And so when I went solo, there was one particular gentleman named Larry, who I went out, and I would do a lot of outreach ministry with him, and I would go, and he'd give me opportunity to share my testimony, and I'd pray with the homeless people and give them clothes and food. And I did that a lot, man. And Larry used to manage some bigger artists back in the day. And so he took me under his wing, and helped me and taught me some things. And we fast forward from that, we were together for about 8 years. And 2018 is when I had a major shift happen. And I really tried to reach out to a lot of the other CHH artists that were moving and shaking and doing things, but for some reason it just never jived. Like, everybody was always clicked up and had their own group, their own deal, and it was very hard to to get people to accept a friendship. And this is what I believe God has called me to do. And I was just blunt, honest, transparent, and just didn't hold back. If we're going to talk about it, let's be real. And so that's what happened.
Right.
And it was kind of funny because she told me, she was giving me her story, and she told me that she actually chilled with Tupac at one point, and was kind of giving me some background to the story of where it was and all. And I'm like, wait, what? You chilled with what? And so, and then I'm scratching my head like, this lady's wild. Like, she just wasn't your average 78-year-old little fire red hair lady. Like, it was pretty wild. And so anyway, we had our meeting, bro, and I'm going somewhere with this. So that's why we buckling up.
Go ahead, man. I know you're a wonderful storyteller. I've been on your live when you were telling stories. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we going, and I'm gonna give you, space to comment and do that too. But so I talked to this lady, bro. We end the meeting. She asked me, she said, Harmony, would you mind praying us out? And I said, sure, I don't mind. So she reached out her hands, and I put my hands in hers, and I just bowed my head and I started praying. And I just thank God for the opportunity. I thank God for the day. I thank God for her, and just ask God to bless her and to, protect us, and just genuine hearted, little prayer, about, maybe a minute and a half prayer. And we both said amen and got up. I put on my jacket, getting ready to leave. And this waitress comes over from across the room. She comes up to us and she said, excuse me, I don't know what you guys were doing over here, your conversation or what you're doing here. She said, but I just want to let you know that I was over in the corner across the room over there waiting on these people's table. And I happened to look up and look over at your booth across the room, and I saw you praying. And as I was watching you pray, I started to feel God's presence surround me. And I had to come over here to tell you that whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you're getting ready to do, move forward and don't let anything stop you. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay. I was like, thank you. That was a blessing. It ministered to me. The lady smiled and said, thank you. And we left our ways. Wake up the next morning, my manager's on the phone. Yo, Harmony, what are you doing? I said, I'm in my house. What do you think I'm doing? It's 9 a.m. Why you call me so early? And we joke around and stuff. And he's like, are you standing up or you sitting down? I said, right now I'm standing up. Do I need to sit down? And he was like, you should probably sit down, find something to sit on. And I'm like, okay. So I sat down on my bed and we're talking. And he said, so how'd that meeting go with that lady yesterday? I said, well, I think it went pretty good. I said, we had a good chat. We laughed. I was like, that chick chill with Tupac, Larry. And, just laughed a little bit about it. And, overall, and I told him about the prayer at the end, and the lady came up and all that. And he said, wow. He's like, well, I'm really glad that you guys hit it off and had a good time. He said, that lady called me this morning, and she told me that when she went home that night, God spoke to her and told her that she needed to give you $40,000 for your music.
Wow. That's a blessing if I ain't never heard one.
Oh, well, hold on. We're going to route this. So okay. I was like, wait, she said, what? She said that God told her to give you $40,000, that she wanted to wire the money to the account for you to use that, for your music. And I said, did she wire it? Like what is going on? He's like, yes, she actually wired $40,000. We talked this morning. Early this morning, I gave her the information, and the transfer had been, in motion. And I said, no way, bro. I was like, shut up, bro. You're not even telling the truth. Like, nobody just wires somebody 40,000. Like, nobody's giving me $400, let alone 40 G's, like, especially from a stranger who's 78, right? This lady named Barbara. And, but it was true, bro. True, that lady really did that. And then something hit me really, really hard. God brought to my remembrance something super powerful. Watch what God did on this. So remember when I told you my brother and I We grew up in the same house, same mom. Both of our dads left us.
Right.
My brother made some better decisions than I did. I went the drugs, the girls, the party, and all that stuff, the stealing, and all that. My brother went the flight route. So he would take the trolley, the trolley. I ain't seen one of them. So my brother would take the trolley when he was a little kid, 12 years old, up to this place called Harris Hill, and he was too young for it to be hired legally. So he told the people there, was like, I really would like to have a job. I really want to learn how to fly. And they just thought he was like a little cute kid. And so they were like, we'll tell you what, you come here every, so many days a week. And when you come here, you clean, you take out the garbage, you do all that. We cannot pay you cash as an employee, but we will donate one free flying lesson every time you come and do the day. And so he did that for years. Now he flies for American Airlines. He just got done. For a while, he flew private jets. So he flew around celebrities, major pastors, like just major people that would hire him as a private contractor, and he would fly them in their private jets to wherever they had to go. And he just got a job at American Airlines, which was his dream job he wanted. Right.
I got you. No, that's super dope though. Like, just for them to even give them the flight lessons in that situation, knowing they couldn't pay, that's just super dope for the people to actually do it that way.
Yes. But after he went there and got to that point, there became a time when my brother had to go to flight school.
Right.
He hit a roof. You have to go. Flight school costs $40,000. Right. So the only person in our family who had that kind of cash in savings was our grandparents. My grandmother, whose name is Barbara, and she died when she was 78 years old. I didn't get any money from that because I was a drug addict, and any money that would have went to me would have went up my nose, or it would have went in a blunt, or it would have went in some type of drug or alcohol, and I just would have burned it up and it would have had no value. So my brother was the one who got $40,000 because he was doing something productive with his life. I was still living in, crazy. So I didn't get anything from that. We fast forward years.
I already saw where it was going. You got $40,000 from Barbara just the same way. So the way God moved it, I already saw it. So,
both 78 years old. Yeah, both 78 years old. I mean, you can't miss that, bro. And so God just reignited that, and he just wanted to let me know, I never forgot you, but you just weren't ready. I had to wait for the time when you were ready. And so that changed some things. We used that money, did a lot of stuff. And after we got through about $20,000, my manager stole the other 20. And so that was like a dagger, because he wasn't just my manager. He was my spiritual dad. Like, we prayed together for hours. We talked every week, and it wasn't just like business talk. Like, it was Jesus for real talk. Like, we went into the scriptures, like it was deep, bro. So when he did that, it really hurt, man, for real. And so I knew at that time when it happened that I wasn't going to be able to stay in a business relationship with him because the trust was just completely severed. And so I separated from him. I chose to forgive him. And it's kind of crazy because 2.5 weeks after he did that, I got a random message from a producer who hit me up and said, hey, you don't know me, but I've been following you for about 7 years, ever since you released your music video, If I Go Away. And I've watched a lot of your posts. I've seen a lot of your music. I've watched, I just never reached out. But I'm reaching out now because I feel like I'm supposed to. And we are getting ready to produce a movie starring Lawrence Fishburne and Mel Gibson's son, Milo Gibson, Glenn Morshower, Abigail Hawk. And we would like to, originally the movie was called Brother's Keeper. And he said, we'd like to hire you to write the main theme track. And so at first I thought it was like joking around, because if you're putting that much money into a major production with Lawrence Fishburne and like all the, like, you don't reach out to some random dude who's not signed to a major label and say, hey, we want to hire you to write the main theme track, not a placement, the main theme track.
All right, I got a question for you on that.
Did it?
Now, you remember when I did an album review for Mixed Messages?
Yep, I do.
You remember what I said about that album?
I kind of have some recollection of it.
I go into, I specifically said it because we ended up meeting at South by Southwest afterwards. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that's why I did it, because you was coming for South by Southwest, and it
Yeah.
was a series on South by Southwest artists.
Correct.
What I said about that album was, it sounds like a movie soundtrack. Each song.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
And then
I do remember. I do remember. I do remember. Yes, you said each song sounded like a movie soundtrack. And what's crazy is, like, that was my first album that I ever put out, and so
right.
You know, a lot has obviously changed since then. But that was my introduction to the world. Like, that was what I had. I worked with everything that I possibly could. I put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, and just did the very best that I could to, you know, enter into the CHH space, so to speak, and try to, you know, make an impact with what I believe God gifted me to do and songs to write. And yeah, man. So as crazy as it is, 2 weeks after he did that to me, I got one of the biggest breaks, right? And then when I got that, I wrote a track. They loved the track. They loved the track so much that they gave me my own credit in the same frames as the directors and producers.
Oh wow, that's definitely, that don't happen at all.
Mm-hmm. No,
so, yeah.
I mean, you do get credit in the back after the movie's over and it scrolls, which I got credit there too. But they gave me a credit in the beginning, so it says produced by, directed by, starring Lawrence Fishburne, bye, and then it says this changes everything by Harmini. Right?
Yeah. So so everybody saw your name at the very beginning. So yeah, that's like putting you out front next to everybody else, all the huge names that's out there.
All the majors. Yeah. And so a lot happened from that, bro. I had you know, I lived in Dallas I moved to Dallas from New Mexico, got saved in New Mexico, moved to Dallas in early 2005. And then I lived there until literally last August. You know, the lady came with the 40K in 2018. We blazed through about 20 grand. Manager stole the other 20 grand. And then, you know, I got the theme track for that movie. And then I started getting more theme tracks for more films. And then I started getting more into the acting and producing side. And then in 2023? So 2021, I had a business opportunity that I, you know, was approached with, and I ended up taking the opportunity and was able to raise a substantial amount of money for some major projects, film projects. And so right now I'm an executive producer on 8 full-length feature documentaries with some major people, bro. So we're still waiting for that to all unfold. I just bought a house in Houston off an independent CHH budget, rapper's budget. And so moved to Houston and it's independent CHH, meaning no label. It can be done. Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I kind of joked. I know what an independent CHH artist gets a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's unpaid. So
yeah. And you know, on the only people that are like really getting paid are Reach record artists. Bizzle has a house, he's doing his thing, but even people under Bizzle's label, they're not really getting paid. Like, nah. So it's like, you know, it is what it is. But for me to be able to come this route and to learn what I've learned and to be a part of what I've been a part of and grow, not just spiritually, but in the business space of how to do things, has been tremendously a tremendous blessing, bro. And so I moved to Houston in August of last year, and
Okay.
still waiting for the documentaries to finish because there's 8 of those. And then I'm also getting ready to produce a CHH documentary. Um, Funds have already been raised. We start executing actually this month. We film from May 23rd to May 29th. And then we do some more filming in July, and we should start jumping into editing around August, September. And then one of the biggest things that I'm really been working on here is I'm a co-owner of a company called DH3 Productions. And DH3 Productions, we produce between 8 to 12 short films every single month. So it's high powered, high moving, and it's a lot of work. So the first 15 days of every month, and we started this in April of this year. So April 1st to April 15th, we just did nothing but shooting. We filmed 11 short films in April. Now it's May. We started on the 1st of May, and we're currently shooting. Today we shot our 18th episode. So we have a couple more coming up, and we're launching the YouTube channel on June 7th. And so every time we do a release for the video, we have a dope marketing team, camera crew, all actors, like the whole deal is all set up. So once we launch, we're just going to keep growing it. Push the films out, money on Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, everybody sharing, building. And our trajectory within, you know, a year to 18 months will put us between 500,000 to 1 million subscribers. And then from there, we'll just start pumping in more to really make it go up into, you know, multi-million subscribers. And the revenue that you get from that is pretty substantial. I was a part of a channel in Dallas before I moved here that was bringing in about $100,000 a month. And so, yeah. And so that's probably the biggest venture that I'm focused on right now, is really doing that, because we film the first 15 days of every month. And then the second half of the month, it's hyper focused editing, our editing team, while we're recasting to film the next episodes the following month. So it's a machine that's moving, but it takes a lot of work. So that's what I've been hyper focused on since April.
Gotcha. I would say with all that work, man, I'm surprised you can make time for this. Like you making moves. So.
Yeah, most of the time I turned down interviews, bro. Like I haven't done shows in a while. I've turned down a lot of shows, and I've turned down a lot of interviews. Anything that takes my focus away from what's right in front of me, because the workload is just so extensive, and I don't care who you are, bro. Like you can get burned out. And so, yep. And so for me, I've been working really, really hard on, you know, all of this stuff, but I've also got a ton of new music coming out, because I have a track written for every single documentary. So all 8 of those docs, I've also had to do music for those. And then this new doc, CHH doc, there's music written for that. And so I'm going to be just dropping music probably every 3 months as time unfolds. And right now, I'm actually currently waiting to see kind of what we're going to do. I got a call from Whitney Houston's family a couple weeks ago, and then I got on a Zoom call actually with Dennis Rodman. And so both of the family of Whitney Houston and Dennis, they want me to produce a documentary for them in a pretty unique angle. So I'm currently in the process of trying to raise funds. I've already created the proposal and sent it out to everybody. So now I'm just waiting to kind of see what happens with that. And if both of those go through, or one of 2 goes through, then that'll be probably one of the first things that I pick up doing, you know, at the end of this year, after I get past some of this stuff that's real heavy on my plate right now.
Gotcha. I just want to say congratulations, man, because you're doing a lot, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, you're doing a whole lot. And I'm actually happy for you because I remember meeting you at South by Southwest, and all I remember is all y'all commented about how tall I was. But
Mad tall, bro.
I,
We really looked up to you.
yeah, for real,
For real.
yeah. Man, I'm happy to hear your story. Just glad that you came through, man, because like we actually kind of passed our time right now already. I
Okay.
let you go, so but I definitely appreciate you coming through. You've actually already told everybody what you got going on, so I'm not gonna ask you to do it again. Just tell them how to get at you on social media and all the other platforms,
All
and
good.
then
Yeah, no problem, bro. Really, man, everything is pretty much the same. It's at Harmony 731, Harmini 731, as it is on the screen. So, and my website is harmonyproductions.com, Harmini productions.com. And anybody that, if somebody watches this, they're in the Houston area, Houston, Texas, or the surrounding area of Houston, and they're trying to get into acting, DH3 Productions is filming every single month, and they're incredible episodes. They literally look like little movies. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is, man. We're just staying focused. Got a bunch of shows coming up. Got one on the 18th. I got one on the 27th. I got one on July 1st. And then I'm a speaker at the Content 2023 conference as well. That's going to be in the Houston area in September. So
yeah. Making moves for God, man. Gotta love it. Thank you for coming through, Harmony. Definitely
yeah, bro.
appreciate that. And
Hey, bro,
thank
you
y'all
ever
for
get a
tuning
you ever get a flight
in. I
out
say,
here, man? Let me know, bro. You ever want to bring the family, whatever, man? Come get in some episodes, man. I'm gonna get you in some acting roles.
I don't need a flight, man. I'm only an hour and a half down the
Are,
road.
are you serious? Where
I'm in Austin. I'm in Austin. Like, I
Oh,
don't need a flight.
bro, you should have done been here. What's wrong with you? Lord bless them, bro.
I just had a baby 18 months ago, so that's part of my thing. Like,
That'll
we
do it.
don't. Yeah. So yeah, there. But thank y'all for tuning in to the
Yeah.
Juice. We'll be back next Wednesday. Hope to see y'all then, man. Thanks for coming through, Harmony. Definitely appreciate it.
Man, blessing to you, bro. I'm gonna reach out to you after I jump off here.
All right, man.
All right, baby. God bless. Peace.